Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of She Plays Games. I'm your host Lauren, and on today's episode, I'm talking with Debbie Timmins, also known as Weefz. I first met Debbie a few years ago when we were both working on separate websites for games media coverage. Debbie ran a site called The Average Gamer, while I was doing reviews and news on GamingUnion.net. Since then, Debbie has gone on to make her own YouTube channel offering content primarily around Pokemon Go. She also hosts her own Twitch channel where she streams games and chats with her many supporters almost every night. It was really interesting to chat with her about how she's adapted with the times, and I really hope you guys enjoy her story. This is episode 5 of She Plays Games. Hey Debbie, welcome to the show. It's so great to have you on.
Hey, thank you for having me.
I've been following your work for what feels like ages now. Back when I was starting out, I was doing GamingUnion.net and you were doing The Average Gamer. And this was around, I guess, 2009, 2010.
Yeah, close to a decade now. Jeez.
It's crazy, isn't it? How much things have changed. How many sites have sort of come up around us?
I know, right? I look through my old archives. I'm like, oh, well, that site's gone.
I know.
That site's gone.
I know.
All those other people I've linked to, I don't even know where they are. And then you get the other ones who are like, oh, they went on to do this. Now they're famous.
Yeah. And you're just like, oh, wow, that's cool. But yeah, it's absolutely a different, it's such a different ball game nowadays. But how exactly did you guys get created with The Average Gamer?
I started The Average Gamer, as you know, I was working in the NHS at the time. I was doing data analysis, and that is not exactly fun. So I've been playing games my whole life, basically. Yeah. And just to do something creative, and also just writing reviews. Okay, let me start from the top.
Yeah.
I play very different games to everybody else I know. I play obviously, you guys play a lot of RPGs. I play a lot of RPGs, whereas Nick, who's now my husband, did not. And neither did anybody I knew from work, and neither did anybody I knew from anywhere else. So I started The Average Gamer just to have somewhere to write about these things that I wanted to say, and I had nobody to say them to.
It is so frustrating, though, isn't it? Where you're the RPG person, and then everybody else around you is just like, no, Call of Duty. And you're just like, okay, that's cool.
And then you want to be like, oh my God, this amazing thing happened, but you got to do this whole preamble. You go, oh, well, first of all, this guy says this, and then this guy's over here, and this guy was my friend, but oh my God, now he's not. And everybody is already glazed over by the time you've got 2 sentences into the backstory.
I know. Oh my gosh. It is really ridiculously hard to hone in on the important parts of a JRPG to sell it to somebody who doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, especially with JRPGs, because it's all so dramatic.
It really is, but it's amazing. And you're just you just have to play it because it's really good. But yeah, I guess that's the thing. Back then, we didn't have sort of Discord stuff like we do now. We didn't have Twitch. We didn't have Twitter. We had forums. And the only way that you were going to meet people who were like-minded like you was to write on a forum.
Yeah, I never really got into forums. They were always there. Back in the day, I was doing random stuff on LiveJournal.
Oh, yeah.
I dabbled with Blogger a bit, but I cannot do diary type blogging.
Yeah,
I'll do it, and then 2 weeks later, I'll be like, oh my God, you're an idiot, and delete it all.
Yeah.
I don't want to read that stuff.
I know.
So it became gaming, because at least, there's something more than just navel gazing going on.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. I had the Zanga. I had all that type of stuff back then. But yeah, with gaming, you just sort of feel well, there has to be somebody who feels the same as me. It's not as embarrassing for me to feel this way.
Yeah. And if they disagree, it's not a personal thing.
Exactly. It's the game's
you
fault.
can just discuss stuff. Games.
It's the game's fault. It's the game's
fault.
naughty.
Yeah. They were bad.
They were bad games. But no, so with data analysis then, you got a degree in computer science and then you got into the NHS. And then you set up The Average Gamer in your spare time. And so it was really just the sheer desire to create a place where you could talk about games that
absolutely
just sort of propelled you into this.
And back then, like, blogs would link out to each other as well, and you could have conversations and
affiliates.
There would be dialogue. Even if it wasn't like forums, it'd be like, you write this long ass post about something, and then someone else goes, oh, but here's one paragraph. I will take that and expand it, or I will take that and completely disagree with it and call you an idiot. And it was okay. It was, as I say, dialogue. You had, web rings. But you built some communities. Yeah.
No, it was good. It was still fun back then. But with The Average Gamer though, like how did you come up with the name for it?
No, that was absolutely because I am not good at games. I don't get into the hardcore stuff. Like I will play and I will noodle about. And even like Final Fantasy, for example. I've played a lot of them. I've never finished one. And I mean, I don't know how much this will date me because I've not been keeping track. But there was like celestial weapons in 8, I think, 9.
Yeah, that was
never did those. Never heard about those until I bought a guide one day, and I was like, wait, what?
But you know what? I'm like really into Final Fantasy, and I honestly did not know about that kind of stuff until I was much older. Like, I didn't know about it until like at least I would say 5 to 10 years after I played the game. Like, I didn't know about the secret stuff. So I don't think
because I wasn't reading forums.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, you just didn't really know what was there unless you had people to talk to and sort of show it to you, to be like, here, there's this bit of the game that you're completely missing right here, and you're just kind of like,
and it's huge.
What?
And, oh, by the way, you missed it because you didn't do this thing like 40 hours ago,
and you have to replay the whole game again in order to do it.
That's why I never did it.
I know. It's really, but I've replayed them since to be able to do everything that I missed, but I completely understand. Like, it's so easy. It was so easy to just miss everything.
Yeah, whereas now we're playing stuff and like we've got the wiki up next to us. I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley lately.
Oh, I hear that game is amazing.
It's so nice. It's so chill. So it's just put it on at 11 p.m. at night and just sit there for a couple of hours, like farming.
Oh, I know. It's all about the farming now, isn't it? Like, just gathering things, making little houses.
Yeah. All those things we can't do. I mean, we can do it. I have a back garden now.
Oh,
I can garden, but bugs keep eating my fruit.
Yeah. Slugs. Oh my God.
And loads of slugs. Oh my God, I hate slugs so much.
They're the worst.
I was trying to grow vegetables, and just every time I picked something, there would be a little baby slug curled up on the bottom of the leaf. And I don't like vegetables to begin with. It was more of an obligation. But then having to wash slug slime off the bottom of the leaf before I eat everything. No.
Oh God, it's horrible. It really is.
So now I have a kitchen trough, which is like a raised box thing.
Oh, really?
And it's okay, except the place we put it in the garden does not get enough sun.
Oh.
But at least there's no slugs.
Yeah, it's
so
very
strawberries
true.
are doing well.
That's good. I like strawberries. They're so much smaller when you grow them yourself.
I have alpine strawberries, which are teeny, teeny, tiny. Yeah. And they are hanging out next to the slugs because I didn't want to dig it up. Yeah. But I have like a proper bigger type of strawberry as well that I don't know what they're called, but they're at least decent sized.
You can actually put them in cereal and you can actually get the taste. Yeah. The taste from them.
Bigger than a fingernail.
But I mean, so when you guys created this place, it must have been like really scary to sort of start out. How did you motivate yourself to sort of stick with it for so long?
That was never really an issue when we started because it was purely a hobby. It was like a thing I did between things. But then, it became a much bigger thing. Then I discovered, like, wait, there's an actual games media industry in this country.
Yeah.
Because growing up in Singapore, all that stuff felt like a distant thing that happened elsewhere. And of course, all the magazines and everything I got were American. And all the consoles and everything were American. So I just kind of assumed that all the media was being done in America for some reason. Because I didn't buy magazines here either, so I didn't really notice.
Yeah.
Like, we knew about Eurogamer. Which was
yeah.
also part of an inspiration because they would do these long-ass, like, 1,000-word reviews. And I would just get bored 3 paragraphs in.
Yeah,
so that was the other thing we did. Like, I'd write about, bloggy type stuff, impressions of games and whatever. But then we also did reviews that were like, no more than 400 words.
And then obviously, like, you've started getting people to be a part of the average gamer. How did you sort of approach people to...
Most of the time they approached me.
Ah, they did.
A few of them, because I'd started going out to events by then, I'd cold emailed a lot of PRs once I got their contact details.
Yeah.
And just said, hey, I run a blog, let me know if anything cool is happening. So then I started going to preview events, I started meeting people, which is probably how I met Daryl.
Yeah. Oh, I think, like, this is going to date a bit, but I think probably the last event I went to with him for Gaming Union specifically, and I think you were there. I think it was the wrestling. I think we might have gone to the wrestling.
Oh, the THQ thing.
Yes, yeah. Back when THQ was
so
really
weird.
a thing. I know. I was just like, oh my gosh, we're
like,
gonna
it was
see
cool.
It was.
But I hadn't seen wrestling I hadn't watched wrestling in maybe 15 years.
Yeah, I hadn't been to anything like that before. I've seen it on TV, but like seeing it in person was just crazy.
That was not a normal event.
No.
And the guy I was with, like, that was one of the guys who'd originally approached me, actually. I'd never met him before.
Yeah.
But I knew he was into wrestling, Kevin.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, Kev, you want to come down and do this? He's like, hell yeah. So he's there like, oh, that's dude. And I'm like, okay. I don't know. Is it John Cena? Was John Cena there?
I don't know. Oh,
Might have been.
I forget what the guy's name, the one guy who came backstage, wasn't it? I forget what his name was, though. That's really bad.
I know, we are terrible.
I know. But we're not wrestlers, we're gamers.
Yeah, but there's a weird crossover with gaming and wrestling, though. I mean, obviously there's a wrestling game, but like, there's a big fandom.
I think that is the thing, though. I think, like, it's just one of those things that a lot of gamers have experience with, in the sense that, like, I feel, especially in our generation, like, most gamers have played a wrestling game in their lives, where they've like learned some of the wrestlers. Like, I know, well, obviously The Rock, but like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I remember him.
You're definitely dating yourself now.
Yeah. Like all.
But yeah, that's what I used to watch as well, like back in the 90s.
Yeah, well, it was a great time for wrestling, wasn't it? You had all these like superheroes. You didn't have to just like Hulk Hogan. You could like.
There were a lot of them.
Yeah.
Tonka.
Wasn't there one called like Tombstone?
That was the Undertaker who had the Tombstone move.
I remember him. Yep. But yeah, no, I think there is. I think it's just because it's like fictional. It's like the modern day Greek tragedy,
as they call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the drama. It's a soap for men.
It really is.
I don't know about the actual like more common wrestling I've seen there, because I see a lot of people tweeting about like progress wrestling and British grassroots wrestling. I don't know if that's quite so over the top.
Probably not. They probably just actually fight each other.
Maybe.
They probably just are legitimately beating the crap out of each other. Not to say that pro wrestlers don't, but it's
when you see live shows, I guess when they're on tour, you can see they're not hitting each other that much.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, they're doing it every night instead of once a week. So
it's very true. So moving on to your current endeavor, Twitch. About 5 years ago, you started officially streaming on Twitch. So what sort of prompted the decision?
I originally started Twitch because I just wanted to get comfortable in front of a camera.
Oh, okay.
Because with the average gamer, and you said earlier, like, things have changed a lot since we started blogging.
Yeah.
Video is on the rise. So I started trying to do a lot of video stuff. And I'm so awkward.
Oh,
in
you're
all
lovely.
Of them. Yeah, I find interviews very uncomfortable though, like being on camera.
Yeah.
Something like this is fine. You're just having a chat. But having to be on camera and not look awkward, especially as a woman as well.
Mm.
You know, I'm trying to worry about my posture and face the camera and also have a conversation with this stranger who I've probably never heard of and just got dropped on me like at the event. They're like, oh, hey, do you want to interview the level designer? I'm like, okay.
Sure.
Except I know very little about your game because there was no information available before this preview.
Yeah. Oh, it's so painful. It really is. Like, just when you are forced in that kind of situation, that sets my anxiety way off, because I'm just like, I don't want to look like an idiot, and I don't want to insult the person who I'm going to talk to.
But equally, you don't want to ask all the safe questions that he's already answered 20 times.
Exactly. You really do have a heart for people who do have to do interviews like all the time.
I mean, it just comes naturally to a lot of people, I think.
Yeah.
I am not one of them.
I am to an extent. Like, I can have a conversation like this. Like, this is chill for me. But like going up to somebody who I do not know, and I just have to just sort of go in like. And
you have 10 minutes, and you have a PR like tapping their watch.
Yeah, like E3 was really difficult for me.
I was okay with E3, partly because I always had somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
But the other weird thing, and again, this is part of why I moved to Twitch, is that by the time I got out of doing that, which was around 2014, I think is the last time I went to E3, maybe 2013, they were getting so media trained that no matter what you asked, you would get the same answer.
Yeah.
And then, like, all the big sites would be going out. They would have, I think GameSpot literally calls it the war room. So they have this massive studio where they can produce things and turn them around within hours.
Oh my God.
And I'm there, like, me and my husband and a laptop.
Yeah.
And we're doing interviews like back to back for 5 hours. We don't have time to produce stuff.
No.
So by the time we get home and we can edit it, we find out that the kind of answers we got were exactly the same, almost word for word, published on at least one of the big sites days beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, that's sort of like the downfall of like our site, Gaming Union, like just the sense that, they're just regurgitating the same information. And if you have the money to send someone to just hire them to do it for you at the event, that's great. But if you don't, like, there's going to be a bit of delay. Yeah. There's no originality that you
There's a lot of wasted time. Like, even though you can try, and sometimes you will get something interesting, there's a lot of duff going on. But the other issue, I mean, I'm not trying to whinge about my own inadequacies going to.
I don't think it is an inadequacy. Events. I think it's just the way of what's happening at the moment.
Yeah,
like
the way it was then.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, though. Like, with the rise of Twitch and everything else, companies could broadcast the message themselves.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting anything original, why spend thousands of pounds to fly to America when it's already been broadcast directly to gamers?
Yeah. But then I think that's the lovely thing about Twitch from a streaming perspective. It's in the sense that, like, you will always have a different view on a game to someone else, and you will always have a different experience to someone else. Even though you're all playing the same game, you're showing it in a different way because you're showing it through your channel and through your lens, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I find that a lot more fun. And yeah, like, going to E3 was always, here is the hands-off demo, which is what we want to see, which I never really enjoyed anyway. Gamescom was much better for that.
Yeah,
because you could at least do a hands-on preview, so it's your own perspective of what you played.
Yeah.
But now, you know, I can just stream it. People can watch it for themselves, and you have Let's Plays on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's just, the average gamer kind of felt redundant.
Yeah.
With the resources I had.
Exactly. And I think that was just sort of, that was the downfall of those kind of organized. Like, it just
independent. And mine was very generalist as well, so there wasn't even that niche. Like, you guys have that focus on JRPGs, and I know you cover other stuff, but you have that niche pretty well covered, right? Are you still doing Gaming Union?
No, not really. No, it's kind of, it just kind of fell apart around 2012. We all kind of disbanded.
But you have that YouTube channel that's going crazy well.
Exactly. So we're working on Final Fantasy Union. So we're just focusing like primarily on Final Fantasy. But that's like the thing. It's about like finding that next thing. And I'm very thankful that we, and you included, like we found a different way to do it that maybe is out of our comfort zone a bit, but we've been able to still stay like in it, you know?
In games.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that in mind, what are your thoughts on the current like streaming platforms? Because now we have like not only Twitch, but we have like YouTube and Mixer and now DLive and stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know what DLive is.
It's crazy.
Mixer.
We just watched it the other day, and it's...
Are there people on it?
Yeah. Well, PewDiePie's on it, I know. He just did one with Jack Black,
well, that
which
explains
is crazy.
that.
But yeah.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, because I've been doing Twitch for, I think, 7 years total. But 4 or 5 years ago is when I stopped, when I realized, like, I can't split my attention between trying to do blog reviews and trying to do streaming seriously.
Yeah.
So I kind of dropped the average gamer. It's still there.
Yeah.
But I don't do anything on it.
Yeah. Same with Gaming Union.
Yeah. So I've looked at Mixer. Like at the time, it was like, well, I could try Mixer, but there seems to be no one there.
Yeah.
And now in the past year, obviously they have spent so much money on Ninja.
Yeah.
So much money. And obviously they got bought by Microsoft, which helps.
Yeah, it does.
So now there are people there. So it's not like me with my 10 viewers trying to go, hey, come to Mixer.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're trying to convince people to sign up to a network that they probably aren't signed up to yet. And
yeah, and it doesn't have the same culture because, you know, Twitch has its own special culture of, you know, emotes and its own language like Kappa.
Exactly.
And I don't know what Mixer stuff means.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
So frankly, I've spent too much time on Twitch. I'm too lazy to try and switch over another platform again.
That's the thing. Like, if Twitch has all the resources you need, you just feel as though that's what you should do. And if it's working, it's working.
Yeah, if it's working.
But how do you have any like advice on how to come up with a good streaming schedule? And have you changed much as you've sort of gone on with it?
You need to make time for it. Like, it's very easy to be like, oh, I'm going to play a game and I won't bother doing anything. You need to put some effort in because there are literally thousands of people around the world who can also just play a game and occasionally go, oh, that was good. Which you see so many streams doing that. Like, actually have conversations with the viewers because that's what they're there for. Exactly. If they wanted to watch gameplay without having that interaction, they'd be on YouTube. So Twitch is definitely about being live. Part of it is about being predictable. So like someone gets home from work, they can go, oh, it's 8 o'clock. Weefz is probably on. Or 8:15 because I'm always late. But I'm consistently late. It happens. And they know this. And they keep quoting Weef's standard time, I think it is. WST, they call it. Oh, just me running cute. 15 minutes late constantly.
It's always that last thing that you have to do. It's like you just have a laundry list.
I say that I'm going to go live at 8, and I'm sitting at my desktop at like 7:30 doing all my bits. Yeah. And then something happens. Yeah. Admittedly, sometimes the thing that happens is that I was on Twitter and I found an interesting article and I got distracted. Yeah. But sometimes it's a technical issue.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't know if, you run off of OBS or?
Yeah.
Yeah, like sometimes your mic doesn't connect or you've used the wrong setup for the wrong game and you're just like, for frick's sake.
Yeah. Or today the game just decided it didn't feel like capturing.
Yeah.
Or my camera. Sometimes if I switch profiles and streams, then while the camera was working perfectly fine in test, now that I've gone live, it's decided not to use a camera. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing?
It just... Yeah, they're divas. They are diva devices. They have their moments where they're just like, no, I'm not working today because you didn't say I looked pretty.
Yeah. You're so pretty, Logitech camera.
Exactly.
Please work.
And please work for me, please. You're so glorious in all your fine tuning. But how do you decide which games are sort of best? Do you just kind of go with what you personally like, or like with the trends or that sort of thing? Like how do you choose the games?
Well, that's something that's always a struggle for any of the streamers in my position, which is like small but not non-existent.
Mm.
So for a long time, I was doing very well with Ark, and Ark roleplay specifically, which at the time was basically unknown. But now GTA roleplay has become a big thing.
Okay.
So most people, I think, understand what it is, which is basically pretending that the game world is real and doing live improv drama roleplay within the game world.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there are huge communities built around that, which made everything easy because it was like, all right, tonight I'm going to play Ark. We're going to fly around on a dinosaur and I'm going to go talk some rubbish with other people. And as I say, it's improv drama. It was great. But since then, I can't really keep up with that anymore because I can't use my computer for long periods of time.
Oh, okay.
I took up a handicraft and I accidentally gave myself RSI in both hands, repetitive strain injury.
Oh my goodness.
That was about 2 years ago.
Oh.
So that means like I'm still in recovery, but it means if I do anything more than about 9 hours streaming, because streaming is continuous, you can't really just stop every 20 minutes to rest.
Yeah.
I can't do more than that because my hands just get really sore and tired and rubbish.
Yeah, you got to take care of you.
Yeah. But that's another thing you need to remember when streaming. Like, you got to take care of you.
Yeah.
Don't let this happen to you. But again, it helps with knowing, okay, 8 to 11, no more. And then the people who are watching, I mean, a lot of my audience is British anyway.
Yeah.
So that's their free time. After 11, they start going to bed one by one. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, good night. No, it's 11:30. Good night. Oh, it's midnight. Jay's going to bed. Good night, Jay.
Yeah.
And you just like, it's nice to have that community. It's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice to check in with people, I think, as well. Like, just see how people are doing on streaming. Like, that's the easiest way to sort of come to somebody. Like, you don't just call somebody up anymore. You just go on streaming and say, hey, how are you doing?
If they're live. Yeah, exactly. And it's that bond that I like. That's why, like, I know I said earlier, I got into Twitch because I wanted to just get comfortable in front of the camera. I saw it as like a practice thing, but I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I like the immediate feedback and just the conversations.
Yeah.
Whereas with YouTube, it's kind of, what's the word?
Well, it's very delayed.
Yeah. So going live is anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Because you spend all this time editing and like polishing and making sure your video is good. And then you render it and you watch and go, oh, I screwed something up. Like halfway through it. And then you got to chop it out and then make sure everything else is aligned and fix everything. And then finally you get to go live. And then you just kind of sit there going, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
and eventually the comments roll in and it gets indexed and more viewers come in.
It's always the waking up the morning after, and you're just like, oh, all this stuff has happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I missed out this thing. Oh, crap. I said this wrong.
I'm getting used to that now.
Yeah.
God, I hate that so much. I used to. Now I'm like, yeah, well.
Yeah.
Probably no one will watch it 6 months later. And then some videos are still going a year later. And you're like, oh no, I can't believe I have this egregious mistake smack in the middle of it. One of my most popular videos. I had these title cards like between topics, and I either put the text in the wrong place or I just forgot to put it in like the first title card.
Yeah.
So you've got like a minute-long intro, and then you get some music, and you've got this red background screen and just nothing. Oh, good. Well,
great.
That's got 100,000 views.
I know. Like, freaking YouTube needs to have like an editing thing where you could just like insert, craftily put in like another clip. Because you always find something. You always find something after. Even if you've watched your clip like 100 times.
Yeah.
There's always just something. And
I got into the habit of watching it on my TV now. So I do all the editing on my PC. Everything's there. Yeah. And then I render it. And then I'm like, okay, put it on the TV, sit back on the sofa, stream it over the network. I find it a lot easier to see the errors.
That's a good idea, actually.
It's just a different perspective.
Yeah, because it's much bigger. You're focused.
Yeah.
You're not going to go on a Twitter sort of thing of like going into the Twitter hole of doom where you just find a load of stuff where you just want to talk to people or see people.
Or then you find a bit of research you missed and you're like, oh, maybe I should put that in.
Yeah. No, there's none of that. But you've also had sort of phases where you've focused on Pokemon Go and Wizards Unite on YouTube. Having played hundreds of games, what was it about those specific games that resonated with you to the point to where you were just like, I want to make content about this?
That actually ties a little bit in with the RSI. Because, as I said, like I can't use a computer, so I can't write anymore.
Okay.
Which is super awesome.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah. So I couldn't stream, so I wound up and, I'm sitting on my sofa getting old and fat.
No.
I'm not joking.
No.
So after a while, it was like, okay, you know what? I need some reason to go out. So Pokemon Go became my reason to go out. And we moved out of London as well.
Yeah, which I think helps.
Partly, I guess. Well, it just means I'm very lonely now.
No. But I think it is a thing. Because like when I went up to London recently for a conference, I was just like, I went and I just was surrounded by food and I just wanted to eat everything. And I'm like, I don't have this at home. Because if I want to go and eat something that's like terrible for me, I have to walk like 20 minutes to get to like a cafe. Like I just, I don't have that time to do that. Whereas in London, I was just like, there's a Starbucks, there's an M&S local, there's, there's a Greg's, there's like, you just walk past a sea of stuff.
So much food.
It really is. So
that's not my problem though. We have avocado to deliver.
Oh, avocado.
And I cook.
Good.
So, I mean, I'm not saying you don't cook, but
no,
I spend a lot of time.
Really good.
Yeah. So the food is right there in my cupboard.
Yeah.
I don't even have to walk. Like at least you're getting 20 minutes of exercise going to the cafe.
Yeah. I know.
I get nothing. So yeah, I need a reason to go outside.
But with Pokemon Go, that is such a good point. And like when it initially came out, I remember it being such a boom of people who just don't really like go out and like go for walks and stuff. Everybody was just walking and going to catch Pokemon, and it was fantastic.
So yeah, we moved out. I didn't know anyone in town. And like we needed to explore town anyway to like find out, what's where and generally get to know the area. Nick would go running because he likes exercise.
Yeah.
Crazy. So he's like running down canals and he would be I quit Pokemon Go for about 6 months because it was winter. And I wasn't going outside to catch Pokemon and freeze my fingers off.
I know.
But he continued playing. So he's running down canals and things and exploring everything. And he'd come back and like tell me about these Pokemon. Because like Generation 2 came out, I think. So there was all this new stuff. I was like, you know what? Fine. I'll get back into it. So we have something to talk about.
Yeah.
And I found myself on stream. Like I would talk about Pokemon Go. And a few of my regulars would also be playing a little bit. So we talk about it, and then the others would be like, oh, what do you mean by this? And I found myself just explaining stuff and then explaining the more hardcore stuff. And like once I did a bunch of research, I found out there's a lot more to it than just CPs. If you play Pokemon Go, CP is a number that explains like it's a rough estimate of how good your Pokemon is, but not really.
Yeah.
So I found myself explaining a lot of stuff. And because I was streaming and I didn't want to give away my location, I couldn't just like put the game on screen.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make a video because it would be way easier for me to explain it like that. And then about a month after I started making these very basic videos just to explain like the background stuff, they started putting out new content every month and then every week and then new features and new updates. And it just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah.
So I never really run out of content because there's always something else happening. And now, over, I think a year and a half later, I have to go back and redo a bunch of those guides because I went into a lot of detail on like how this feature should be interpreted so you actually understand it. Because, Pokemon, they like to obfuscate things.
Yeah.
And now, like, those systems have been completely changed. So now I need to redo those videos. And
remakes.
Yay!
Reboots.
Yes. This is an update of last year's video. I haven't done it yet because I can't face watching myself.
Oh, no.
I did one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
like,
should
oh
do
no,
that.
you're so awkward then. It's in the works. I might do one today, actually.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah. I
But
do one. I
yeah.
do at least one every week because even if I don't do like a full-on beginner's guide, there's always news.
Oh,
There's new events.
absolutely.
Or recently they changed the spawn point, so now I have Pokemon at home. Yes, finally.
Yay. Oh my
3 years of
God.
nothing.
That was actually a reason why I stopped playing. Like, I was playing a few months ago and I was having like loads of fun again. Because I had stopped before.
Yeah, because it's
But
like
yeah,
3 more generations now.
the spawn points were just like, oh no, I have to walk all the way there to get to a spawn point. And Daryl was just like, well, I have a train, so I can get on the train. I was like,
Yeah.
ah, I hate you. There's a gym right there. I can't get to the gym all the time. I can't just walk up to the
Yeah.
train station, be like, hey, playing Pokemon, not actually getting on the train. BT
Yeah, you
dubs.
can. It's a bit harder with 2 kids though, right?
Yeah, it's a bit hard as well. Yeah.
You can't just like pick them up and wander around with them.
Nah. Hey kids, do you want to learn about Pokemon? Well, actually, you say that. Allie really did like it walking around town. Like I used to find Pokemon to catch and whatever, and she used to be interested in that, but then it just got to be a bit too much for her that she kept wanting to. And I was just kind of like, put the phone down.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? We're in this little town. We were wandering around. Then we discovered the Pokemon community. And like my town somehow has a really solid Pokemon community.
That's it.
There's a couple of hundred people. We organize on WhatsApp and Discord. And like now I know people.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, we can walk down. Like we went from not knowing anything to walking down the street and being able to say hi to people and, just see people we know in the pub or working in Costa or whatever.
Yeah, but
So
that's
it's
so
cool.
nice.
Yeah, it is literally bringing the community together.
Yeah, like I mean,
And this is like a small town. This is a high street and 2 roads off it. Outside London, you've got all these towns where everyone's grown up together
yeah,
and they all know each other.
It's
and
really
you're the
hard to get in.
outsiders.
it's really hard to get in.
Yeah, like there are definitely some pubs where you go in and you're like, everyone turns to look at you. It's like, maybe I should go to a different pub.
Oh my God, I know.
Not a lot. Most of them are really good, but there are definitely some.
Yeah.
Everyone's
absolutely.
probably been going to this pub for the past 30 years, and who are you?
We went to Cornwall for like a holiday a couple of years ago now, and we had that exact experience where we just felt like we didn't belong. Like we opened the door and we were trying to decide whether or not we wanted to sit down and eat, and some guy like shouted at us and was just like, "Shut the damn door!" And we were just like, "We're not welcome here."
And don't get me wrong, there's pubs in London that are like that as well.
Yeah.
But feel it more when there's fewer options.
Yeah. These people I have to interact with maybe every day. I don't want to piss them off.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, do you do any of the community days that are put on by Niantic as well?
Yeah. Every month.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So we do community days. They have raid days now, Wednesday evening, 6 o'clock. Not every week, but at least every other week usually. And there's always a group. Like, what is it now? It's Friday. So 2 days ago, even though it's like slightly raining, there's still 18 of us walking around this route of Pokemon gyms, which is about 2 kilometers, I think. And we just get together and do it, and it's fun. It's good.
Yeah.
Because we're hunting shinies. We did not get a single shiny, by the way. I am not impressed by that.
Oh no.
So it means I have to go out tonight.
And like, doesn't
And
it?
probably tomorrow. Ugh.
Isn't there like a difference in what Pokemon show up where as well? Like some locations get really rare Pokemon or like much different selections of Pokemon than others?
A little bit. They have biomes, which I think most people understand through Minecraft and everything.
Yeah. Like
But-
around like train stations and stuff, you'll get like, won't you get like electric Pokemon or something if you're around like that kind of thing? And like,
It's not quite that detailed. Like you can
Okay.
get nests. So if you go to a park, usually if your park is properly tagged in the mapping system they use, OpenStreetMap, then it will become a nest. And that means that every spawn in there has a 25% chance of being this one single Pokemon.
gotcha.
But they also have a weather system. So if it rains, you're more likely to get water Pokemon. If it's partly cloudy, you're more likely to get normal type Pokemon.
Yeah.
So they've changed a lot of things. And as I said, they recently redid the whole spawn system. So now I have stuff in my house, but also where I used to have a lot of dead zones walking to the park, which is about 1 kilometer away. I noticed yesterday that there's actually more Pokemon spawning in the residential areas on the way, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But it also means there's fewer in car parks, and I don't know why car parks used to be the hot spot. But apparently they are no longer the place to be, which is what community days used to be in a lot of communities, was just go to America particularly, go to the Walmart car park and just walk in circles.
Well, I mean, you certainly have a lot of ground. You have so much ground to cover in a Walmart.
So I hear.
Yeah, parking lot. Absolutely. It's like a football field. It's like
oh wow,
they're ridiculously large.
Yeah.
So with the future of your streaming, so you're planning on, are you planning on continuing the streaming for as long as you can get it to go, or do you think that you'll explore? Do you think that you would go more with YouTube?
Right now, I'm split between both because basically income-wise, they're doing about the same.
Yeah.
Twitch is a lot harder to grow on, and I thought it was just me and my limited time live. But then I've seen other people who stream every night, like for 6 to 8 to 10 hours a night, and they're also struggling with growth. So I'm glad it's not just me being terrible.
No.
But when it comes to, if you compare it to YouTube, Twitch has no, I want to say long tail. I don't know if that's quite the word, but it's a similar concept. And that people only watch when you're live. So that means if I'm streaming 3 nights a week for 3 hours, there's literally 9 hours in the whole week where people can discover my content. And yes, they do have VODs, but nobody really watches VODs unless they're already invested in the person. So YouTube, in contrast, has much better discoverability.
Yeah.
So growth is huge. Like I set up the channel 18 months ago. I know it's not massive, but I've got 4,500 subscribers.
That's really
Each
a decent
video
amount.
It's decent. It's enough to be encouraging and keep going.
Absolutely.
Whereas if after that time I had 200 subscribers, I'd be like, you know what? I'm just putting way too much effort in and getting nothing out.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It does take time to do that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah. So much time.
It really does.
It takes me about an hour per minute of finished video.
Yeah.
Depending on what it is. Like, that's for the really informed, researched, I am educating you right now.
Yeah.
Lecture type videos, whereas some of them are news, and like the news ones, you just kind of read a blog post and add your own take and you're done.
Yeah. I mean, like, you kind of just, you know that you have that set content to sort of put in the thing, and like whether it's a trailer or whatever, you have that set sort of media block that you can select from. Whereas when you're doing like informative things, you're like, I have to get screenshots from this thing and screenshots from this thing on the past. Oh, and this one over here, this is a really good one. Oh, and this one's a good reference. It's surprisingly
I'm consuming.
It's an hour a minute complex. Sounds about right.
Yeah, once you know what it is, it's not complicated. It's just trying to time everything.
Yeah.
Or in my case, like, I cannot draw, I cannot animate.
Yeah, I can't.
So it's trying to find a way to communicate that information both verbally and then support it on screen without being too confusing.
Yeah.
Because if you talk about something and then you have words that are similar but different on screen, then that is also confusing.
Absolutely.
To the viewer. But on the other hand, they can pause and rewind whenever they want. So you don't have to spend too much time. It's not like live TV where it's just gone. If they miss something, they could just jump back a minute and watch it again. As long as the information's there, then it's great.
I have to do that so much. So much do I have to do that to just focus.
Your guys' videos are quite intensive as well, aren't they?
They're decent. Like, I mean, yeah, we really try to get as much of what we need to address as possible. Like, we try to cover all of our bases. One of our sore spots is the MMOs, just because as much as I would love to have the time to do the MMOs, we don't have the time to play MMOs.
Not among everything else.
Oh, it's so hard. But yeah, we try to be as thorough as we can. But it's just, it is a workout. Workout for the brain / clicking.
Yeah. And then you got to do thumbnails, and then you got to do the tags.
The right colors, the right thumbnails. Whew, it's fun. But either way, Debbie, this has been absolutely amazing to talk to you and to learn about your experience in the games industry. And I really can't wait to see what content you come up with next.
Oh, thank you very much for having me on.
That's it for this episode of She Plays Games. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much again to Debbie for coming on the show. And if you want more from her, you can follow her on Twitter and Twitch at Weefz, which is Weefz, and on YouTube as PokeWeefz. Also, if you want more episodes of She Plays Games, please be sure to subscribe or follow me on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube by searching She Plays Games, and on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ShePlaysPodcast. Our next episode will be on Monday, October 14th. And if you want to be on the show or you want to nominate someone to come on the show, you can email me at ShePlaysPodcast@gmail.com. See you all next time on She Plays Games.